This is really important and super timely for you in that I think it needs to really be discussed. It's that we need to stop saying that President Biden is too old for the job. We need to stop saying that Biden is too old for the job. And hang out for a little bit, because if you're in your 20s or 30s, the last point I make is going to be super relevant to you. So the thing about Biden being too old is we've taken an arbitrary number that he's too old. It's an arbitrary number. Here's the incredible fact about this. It's a unique point in that if Trump gets elected and follows through in the 4 years, he will be, during that 4 years, he will be older than Biden is now. So are we going to say, okay, on Trump's birthday, we're going to say, wake him up and say, by the way, now you're too old, you got to leave. And no one's going to do that, because they're going to say, yeah, but it's not the same. But is he too old or not too old? And so you really look at that, it's an arbitrary number. I think it needs to be discussed. Is there an incapacity? Is there a physiological, is there a mental incapacity that goes along with it? But the ironic part about this is that we've had a number of presidents along the way who have had obvious physical incapacities. JFK was devastated by low back pain. He was on medications for years. FDR, one of our greatest presidents ever, who led a resurrection of America, was in a wheelchair for years. And even in the 80s, President Reagan, 5 years after he was out of office, was diagnosed with dementia. Is there incapacity? I don't know. Should we talk about it? Yes, though. Here's the amazing part, is many people come back to me and say, but President Biden had flying colors on his last physical. Let's be honest about this. Trump had flying colors on his physical too. Please name for me any president we've had along the way who's not had flying colors on their physical. I don't know of one. Why are they even doing a physical then? If you're not going to hold them accountable to this, then why are we even doing it? And that's one of the most ridiculous things is, oh yeah, they had flying colors. Who hasn't had a flying colors? Everybody gets a ribbon for the thing. If you're in your 20s or 30s, and this is why this is an arbitrary number, why we need to stop saying he's too old. It's an arbitrary number. Here's a unique thing about if you're in your 20s right now. It's anticipated that you're going to retire from 3 jobs along the way in your life. 3 jobs. So the first, after you get out of high school or college, that first 20 years, I'm going to call it family and finances. Is you're going to do a job for 20 years, take care of your family, and get the finances going. When you retire from that, then you're going to get into, I guess you would call it the fun stuff, because you're going to say, this is the job I actually want to do, the really fun thing I want to do for the next 20 years. So that's 20, and you're going to retire from that. And then you're going to get into futuristic, I guess we'd call it, but you're going to be helping the community or helping your family or helping generations. You're going to be doing like a much more community and holistic world-based thing. You're going to be a certain age by then. You've gone 20, 20, 20. You've already had the first 20 years. It's going to be 40, 60, you go 80 when you retire from that third one. Are you going to be too old for a job? What's crazy about this is that it's anticipated that Americans are going to be living much longer. If they are going to be living much longer, we all are going to hit a certain age. The same age that our leaders are now. Are you going to be too old? I don't think so either. We need to get in the idea that it's not an age anymore. We're not talking about ages anymore. That becomes ageism. And ageism is another form of discrimination we have in America. We need to get over this. It's not an age. It's how we work. Let's get into that. I'm Dr. Otto Janke. Come on, join us in Empire Longevity. Let's see how great you can be for decades to come.